every time you hear somebody say that, you're like, oh wait, is this person anti-Semitic?
Yeah, she's saying it's a dog whistle that if people say that, because they're not actually prostrating themselves, they're not actually like giving their soul over to Israel just because they went to the wall, that these are people who actually, it's part of their religion. Charlie was a hardcore Christian, and that the wall is a holy site for Christians. My family's been there.
You don't know anything about it other than that
I've
Jews
never done it
around
before.
the world.
I've heard about it. Yes, I've never done it. So if that's what you mean, I don't know about it.
You're characterizing it as a PR trip for the state of Israel. That's completely inaccurate.
And as we all know, the UN is not the only people who have said that they think it's a genocide. There have been genocide scholars who have come out over the last few months, all in solidarity, saying
the genocide scholars. Are you talking about that group that it turned out that you actually didn't have to be a scholar at all, and you could join for $30 online and then vote on whether or not it was a genocide? You're talking about that group? Guess what? In order to qualify for the vote on whether it was a genocide or not, you didn't have to be a scholar. You had to be a member, and to be a member, all you needed $30. $30.
Mainstream media has caught this. How come this isn't anywhere on it?
Because the mainstream media doesn't like to announce when they get things wrong. They just make stealth edits after the fact.
Damn, you got all the Hasbro talking points down. That's crazy. Like,
yeah, do I have all the Hasbro talking points, or do I just disagree with you?
But the main thing that I was criticizing the entire time, and not just that I just said this at the end, this is what I said before I started playing the clip. This is what I said maybe 20 times going through the clip. This is what I said at the end of the clip. So I didn't just pull Ana Kasparian and just say out of nowhere, well, my real issue is that they say that they're not allowed to criticize Israel. No, I said this before it. I said it in the middle of it 20 times. I've said it over and over afterwards, is that they keep saying they're not allowed to criticize Israel. This is that they keep playing this victim game, that if people criticize their reporting and criticize the way that they report it, that they always turn around and make this about the fact that they're not allowed to criticize Israel. That's what they keep saying. That is the overall message, is we're just going to throw out a bunch of conspiracy theories and then watch us get criticism for this. And it's because we're just not even allowed to criticize Israel. Yeah, I'll jump into VC. I don't know if Z-King, you're still here. Hello.
Oh shit, I was about to leave. I'm sorry. I heard you in the background. All right, wait, could you scroll up a little bit so I can see the top of your list?
The whole list is there.
Oh, wait, wasn't number? Okay, so number one. Oh, okay. I'm not allowed to criticize Israel. Didn't Jillian Michaels say on that thing, like they were having a conversation beforehand about the production of the show and the topics they were going to go over, and Jillian Michaels was very adamant that she did not want to do that Israel topic?
Yeah, probably.
I mean, if I was Anna, I would feel like that. Let me take that back, because I really am not here to defend Anna, but would it be reasonable to assume that's what she's talking about when she says that?
Well, they were talking about the fact that throughout all of it, that even before that, like Charlie Kirk wasn't allowed to criticize Israel as well. And that was Charlie Kirk's big problem, is that he wasn't allowed to criticize Israel. And then they said the same thing about Dave Smith and Tucker Carlson, and that all these people just aren't allowed to criticize Israel.
Kirk said that though, right?
Yes, correct.
Yeah.
And this is what, is what we went over at the time.
That he wasn't allowed to criticize Israel, and then we're on a show after he died, and she's trying to criticize Israel, and there's this one person sitting there shouting her down, saying, "No, you can't criticize Israel."
She never said you can't criticize Israel. This you're doing. Do you know? Okay. Hold on, wait. Do you know that my criticism?
I don't want you to. If you guys do bring this up, I'm going to tear you apart.
No.
What's the implication?
No.
What's the implication?
No. My entire criticism is that people are criticizing the way that they criticize Israel, or they are criticizing their criticisms of Israel, but they play it into this bullshit straw man of we're just not allowed to criticize Israel, or they're criticizing us for criticizing Israel. Nobody's doing that. They're criticizing the way that you criticize Israel, or how you do it, or your criticisms of them. That's very, very different.
Okay. All right. So I'm just saying that, like, for Anna in that situation, like she does criticize Israel in a very anti-Semitic way, I would say. Even though she's very careful with her words, she like always is like Israel, Israel, Israel. She like might slip one or two times and say Jew, but I get the feeling, like the implication that she's putting down. Like I'm not even denying or defending any of that.
Well, I don't even know that
but
she's
I
like
think
actually like anti-Semitic or anything, but I think she makes anti-Semitic arguments all the time.
Well, so she does. Okay, yeah, I can't say she's. Yes, yeah. That's basically what I was trying to say. She does make. I can't say she's anti-Semitic, but she does make a lot of anti-Semitic arguments. The way she was like, the way she talks about Israelis as like disgusting, like
Demons.
demons, right? Like, you know, she was like that ghoul Benjamin Netanyahu, and just the way she does it just is it gives me icky vibes as a black person who's very used
Like
to
calling
hearing
a black person a thug over and over.
Yes, I can pick a dog whistle out so quickly, and it makes the hairs on the back of my neck stand up. So on one hand, it's like she's playing into the conspiracy, which would get people very riled up and not want her to defend or to criticize Israel, right? So which would preempt people to her pushing back on Israel. So then she has a reason to say, "Oh, people don't want me to criticize Israel." So it's like almost a self-fulfilling prophecy. But my main point here is that you keep saying that there's no evidence that Charlie Kirk, or there's no evidence that TPUSA or Charlie Kirk was pressured by Israel to basically change, or, keep his stance, not change his stance, but don't criticize. We see you about to go down a rabbit hole. Don't go down a rabbit hole, basically. But he said that himself.
He said from Israel? I thought he said from the left.
No. Okay, you have donors written down.
Yes, Anna said, I do believe that the donors for TPUSA are trying to stop him from talking about Israel and criticizing them. She said this 3 or 4 times now.
Now, didn't Charlie Kirk say that?
I have never heard him say that his donors were trying to stop him. No, I heard him talk.
Say specifically the word donors. He said, I think the phrase he used was pro-Israel people.
Yes,
right?
And he talks about the fact that he talks about the fact that Jewish people, and he does say Jewish donors, are people who are always backing leftist, neoliberal, quasi-Marxist policies and programs that are ruining America. And so he's talking about left-leaning Jews that are backing Democrat policies that he's upset with. He doesn't say TPUSA donors at any point.
Right. No, he says, like I said, he says pro-Israel people I've been getting phone calls from pro-Israel people a lot more lately. And then on his own episode, or maybe it was a different appearance, I'm getting confused on where he said which at, but then on another part he was like, I feel like Israelis can criticize the Israeli government more than I can due to pressure that he's receiving. And he's referred to Dave Smith and Tucker Carlson both specifically being at his events. So who would be pressuring him to not have Dave Smith and Tucker Carlson at their events other than his, either advisors or donors in this case? Because just the way he says everything, like Charlie Kirk is he's a very good orator, and he's very good at saying a certain thing without explicitly spelling it out and 100% saying it. So that's why he was always the master at, you can't say I'm racist, and nobody could ever, catch him like being racist, because he'd always say something in a way that he would give himself plausible deniability.
Yeah, again, I would think that this is left-leaning people who think that Dave Smith is anti-Semitic, that fucking Tucker Carlson is a white nationalist and anti-Semitic, and that these are people that he is bringing on and not arguing with, not challenging them, not debating them, but just sitting there and platforming them, and that people are going to be critical of him, just allowing them to come on and treating them like good old buddies.
Why would No, what that doesn't make any sense. Like, why would he be speaking of left wing?
Well, sorry, it doesn't even just have to be left leaning people. Like, obviously, again, like Tucker Carlson's been getting a ton of crap from the left over the like anti-Jewish conspiracy theories and like Holocaust denialism and shit that he's been getting into on his show.
Right.
So,
And the right.
yes, on the right, yes, they've also been getting into that. So I would assume it's not just the left, but both. Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. When Kirk refers to that, he's obviously not talking about left wing criticizers or I doubt he has many rich. Wait, he doesn't have many rich Jewish left wing donors, right?
Kirk?
Oh, that wouldn't make any sense. Yeah, Charlie Kirk. That wouldn't make any sense.
I have no idea. But again, it's the problem is that she's saying she does believe or she knows that that TPUSA donors are the ones that are pressuring him to do this. And he's literally done like group meetings on his show where he had on a bunch of fucking groypers and they all sat around talking about like how hard it is because they're not allowed to criticize Israel anymore. And it's not, they don't think it's anti-Semitic to just have criticisms of Israel and shit like that. The fact that his donors are all these Jewish people pressuring him to not do this, yet he still has on Dave Smith, he still has on Tucker Carlson, he still has on all these groypers, he still keeps doing all of the things and criticizing Jews who are backing the Democrat Party and all this. Like the fact that he's still doing all the things that he's apparently not allowed to do is my issue here.
No, well, that's what that. Okay, but I think that's the argument, though, is that he's getting pressured by his donors to not do these things that he still is doing.
That's the thing. So, Philly, there's no evidence that this was any pressure from donors. And in fact, people close to him in TPUSA who work directly with him, who were his friends, have come out on the, like Alex Clark, I think is her name. She's the TPUSA host. And said that, you know, TPUSA doesn't even have a lot of Jewish donors. I know everyone associates Jews with money, and that's just like an established trope. And listen, for fair reasons, there are a lot of successful Jews. Jews are disproportionately successful in a lot of big industries. These are all true things. Tom, I think, and you already sort of conceded this, but he definitely wasn't talking about pressure from left-wing Jews when he says, I'm getting pressure, you know, not to
Hold on,
talk
I talked about, wait. I was talking about a separate clip where he is talking about.
I know you were, and they sort of got conflated, and you clarified that the pressure I want to make a few clarifications. Charlie never said that he was feeling pressure not to talk about Israel. Here's what I think happened, and what a lot of people close to Charlie have said happened. There is obviously a split within the right, within MAGA and within the right broadly, of people who are pro and against Israel. And Charlie was trying to walk that thin line because he saw a lot of the young people in TPUSA, you know, or the TPUSA target, all of a sudden, you know, being anti-Israel in a kind of concerning way, in a groyperish way, in a Nick Fuentes way, in a Candace Owens way, in a Tucker Carlson way. And he was trying to balance these things.
Yep.
So in some ways, Charlie was a conductor of this radicalization because he did give a platform to people like Tucker, demons scratched my back until I bled in the middle of the night, Carlson. But he was also out there saying that, you know, if you spend too much time like focusing on the Jews, it's going to rot your brain. And he was out there very publicly supporting Israel. There are a lot of Jews who are concerned, right-wing Jews, this is who he's talking about, his friends, not his donors, his friends, his colleagues, people that he knows and respects, who are concerned about the anti-Semitic conspiracy theories being swept over and labeled as criticism of Israel, because all of the conspiracy theories, they can tie into Israel or the Mossad or something in some way.
Yes. Well, that's why I started off earlier
hold on,
just to
sorry,
be. Well, I just want to say before I started this, like I went over the fact that when Charlie Kirk, as soon as they started bringing some of this stuff up, I said Charlie Kirk had been playing this game, and I talked about it numerous times on stream that he was playing this game where he was doing the anti-Semitic dog whistles and using anti-Semitic rhetoric without ever actually being critical of Israel, where he would say things like, "I feel like I'm allowed to criticize the ADL without it being anti-Semitic." Well, all fucking conservatives can criticize the ADL because it's a left-leaning organization now. They hate the fucking ADL. But he would say things like this, that like, I think I'm allowed to criticize Israel without it being anti-Semitic. Well, what criticisms do you have for Israel? I've never heard any. But you can keep saying I'm allowed to do it. I don't think it's anti-Semitic to do it, where he's using this rhetoric that appeals to groyper, like younger people who are more pro-Gaza and makes them feel like he understands them and connects with them while never actually having criticisms of Israel.
I partially agree with that insofar as like he didn't actually have a lot of criticisms for Israel. I think all of that is really being overstated. I think people like Anna want to believe, people like Anna and Candace to talk about how he was like on the cusp of changing his mind. I don't think that's really true, honestly. I think he was just feeling the pressure of the division within the right, and he was trying to hold together a strong coalition because he was valuable to MAGA in securing their victory. He became very influential on the right wing. But there are Jews who are, you could say paranoid, and I would say rightfully paranoid, and also like observing concerning conspiracy theories and stuff, who, yes, were definitely applying pressure to him and were, you could say, lashing out or whatever. But this was an interpersonal thing. He never made claims that this was donors, that anyone was threatening him, anything like that. And no credible person has made that claim or provided any evidence for that claim. And that's really the claim that you're holding on to, Philly.
Well, let me first say that I think your kind of analysis of his relationship and his backing up of Israel is 100% correct, and I think that is the kind of the reason that I just agree with everything you said in your second part. But in your first part, when you said that that he's not, I think you were trying to say he wasn't really. Well, no, you did say he's not talking about his donors specifically. I don't know. He, like I said, he kind of left it up for interpretation. I mean,
he didn't though. Like, what donors? Respectfully, Philly, just like think it's a dog whistle. If no one can point to a donor, then by donors they mean rich Jews. Okay, he never said anything about donors. Also, he wasn't beholden to any one particular donor.
No, sure. He didn't say the word donor, but what he did say, and him and Megyn Kelly were specifically having a conversation about pressure from the quote pro-Israel side, right? And that could range
pressure from concerned, paranoid, and again, I would say rightfully paranoid in many instances, Jews, pro-Israel Jews. Yes, they're
probably on Twitter.
That part is incidental. No, it's not. No, not just on Twitter. People in their real lives. A lot of Jews are actually concerned about this.
Well, no. I mean,
a lot of Jews on the right.
I'm talking about like, yes, like the majority of it is probably coming from people on Twitter and people in like
I don't even think so. Like Charlie said that his text messages were full. I think that's true. I think because he knew a lot of Jews, and a lot of Jews really loved him because they felt that he was a champion for the Jewish people and for Israel. And so a lot of Jews were really concerned because, again, Charlie was trying to walk this line between appeasing the more extreme parts of the right wing base, appeasing them, and also trying to like hold true to his
which is why he would just platform people like Tucker Carlson and Dave Smith
and in a way that I think is very human. Like he also said, and again, this is a human thing that he was expressing, that when you're being told what you can't do, it makes you want to dig your heels in. And he said that, and every time someone tells me not to platform Tucker Carlson, I invite him to another conference. Like these were normal human reactions that he was feeling, the push and pull of friends and people who are concerned. I do think it was real people in his real life. I don't think it was just Twitter.
I think that is, I know it is people in his real life as well. I know it's people in his real life as well, because we read numerous articles about like Ackman also like having conversations with him and crap like that. I know it's people in his real life as well, but I'm just saying that like I don't think that I assume the majority of it was very public with people criticizing him like publicly on like Twitter or like
Right. Well, yes,
crap
no,
like
you're
that.
right. And even not just like yelling at him and threatening him, but yes, like people in podcasts and long form talking about the concerns that they had with, you know, these fringes of the right wing growing and being platformed by people that they see as allies. Yes, this was a live public debate. This was not shadowy, but I do believe that lots of people in his real life were reaching out to him very concerned. Yeah. The same way that people were doing that to Megyn Kelly.
Right.
Who will be putting pressure on him to not have him at TPUSA events? And who could have him worried enough? And
his friends. He's not worried about his security. Again, none of that has ever been not a shred of evidence has been put forward to that. He never said he was worried. He never said he was scared. He felt like he was in danger. He said he was frustrated because he feels like he has the bona fides of a Jew defender and an Israel defender, and he was frustrated that a lot of Jews in his life were giving him flack for supporting Tucker Carlson and Candace Owens and stuff.
I remember him. Yeah, he did say all that, right? I'm not disagreeing that he didn't say that, but I think he also did make it a point to say that he was getting some sort of like.
Nope. He never said he was getting a threat. He never
about Kirk, or excuse me, about Carlson and Dave Smith both being, and then he was like, you know what, fuck you, I'm going to have him at my next event.
Yeah, exactly. But that's not in no part of that did he say I'm being threatened. I don't feel safe. People are threatening to ruin TPUSA and pull their funding.
No, he said his moral character is being questioned. I think
exactly.
Yes.
Yeah. People, right,
exactly.
Exactly. Because people see Tucker.
He's not
Carlson
a real conservative.
They were saying to Charlie, you know, if there's a table with, you know, 2 Nazis and there's a table of 3 Nazis, and he was very offended by that because he felt that he had earned the right to platform different people.
What felt
Philly, I think we lost you if you're still there.
Yeah.
Oh shit. Can you hear me?
You're kind of like you sound.
Can you hear me?
Yes, you're very quiet now, though.
I'm back.
Yes.
Oh, I'm back, but I'm quiet. Is that better?
Yes. Yeah. It's fine. We hear you.
Where did the claim about blackmail come from? I thought he was saying something about blackmail. All right.
No, he never did. Candace Owens said that he was being blackmailed. Max Blumenthal said that he was being blackmailed. Right. No one has presented evidence for these claims. He never said that. Absolutely not.
Okay. So
he said it's bullshit. He's like, there, you know, half of Israel is out there protesting their government, and are those people anti-Semites? Like, I should be able to say very, very minor things like, let's wrap up this war. You guys are losing support in America. Let's wrap up this war. And I should be able to platform Tucker Carlson without being called an anti-Semite. He was frustrated. Very human, normal thing to do when you feel like your morals are being attacked by people that are supposed to know you and respect you. I think that's something very relatable.
Right. I'm not really disagreeing with that, but I'm saying Max Blumenthal, I guess it would be disregarded as a reporter in your 2 eyes, I'm guessing, right?
Yes.
He didn't provide evidence of this. I mean, I don't think he's a credible person, yes, but it's not just because he said it. There is no evidence being provided. So yes, he falls into the conspiracy theory brain camp until he can provide evidence of this.
I don't know. For me, it just like with the things that Charlie Kirk was saying leading up to his death, combined with like weird, like kind of
music put to the clips,
messages on.
This is how conspiracy theory
weird ominous messages
on Twitter.
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, like Israel will kill Charlie Kirk with like a month before he dies, right?
Who? What? Where? What are you talking about?
I'll do some message. I don't know that. That's all. I'm just saying. No. Fuck that last thing I said, because I'm not like believing any most.
But that's how conspiracy theories work. Is you just pull together all of these tiny disparate threads from random sources.
We're agreeing, but I'm just saying.
I don't know that we are.
So if you would let me finish, you would hear what I'm saying, and then you can decide if you're agreeing. Okay. So what I was going to say was, there are weird things, like I said, Kirk's comments leading up to his death. And then the way that Bill Ackman, like the way he denied the claims, like there was so for Blumenthal, there was that trip. He was not lying about that. He said he had a source inside Kirk's camp that said this, and he had another source that said that. Okay, obviously, there's no way for anybody to prove that. But if you
No, there
are a
is,
person,
because there were people in the room who have spoken. This is also how conspiracy theories work. You have to
wait, I'm sorry.
ignore evidence. You have to
I'm sorry.
ignore evidence that is presented that
Is it
contradicts it
possible
because
for
it's not
two different
convenient.
people? Is it possible for two different people at TPUSA to say two different things?
People who are in the room are not saying different things.
Yeah, I was about to say, I don't think two people from TPUSA have said different things. I think the people from TPUSA have all said the same thing. People who were at the meetings and the summits have all said the same thing. And the people who weren't here or weren't there are the ones who were saying something different.
Okay. But Max Blumenthal's source was somebody that is just in TPUSA, not somebody that was at the event. All right. But that's what I'm guessing. The way the article was written, it sounded like it was somebody who heard about what happened at the event, not somebody that was there.
Yes, Max
Okay.
Blumenthal framed this as what's his face? Ackman staged an intervention in the Hamptons, brought everyone to his home in the Hamptons to try to
Right, I know.
convince
And he
Charlie
heard
Kirk to go back to his strict Zionist messaging. It
Yeah,
turned
he heard
out
that from
literally
somebody.
none of that was true. It wasn't
Because
at Ackman's house. Ackman didn't host it. He offered money. He paid for the food, basically. He like catered the events. And yeah, it was a
all right,
summit of different influencers who got together, and all of them have been able to come out and share what they talked about too.
Yeah, we read an article
No
from
one
somebody
there.
earlier who said that they were there and that none of this happened either.
for us all to pretend that somebody has to exclusively say, or explicitly say, excuse me, you need to do this or else, or explicitly, give a direction.
No one said anything even remotely like that happened.
But
Right,
yeah,
no,
we're
no,
saying that there would have to be some evidence towards it in the first
the
place.
implication, right? There could be the implication, right? And we know how that works with human interaction.
No one has even alleged the implication, Philly.
For this, huh?
What evidence
No
is
one
there
who's
of the
there has even
implication?
alleged the implication.
Okay. Listen, I haven't combed through Ackman's statements, but I'm not prone
I
to
can
believe
tell.
him any. Yeah, I'm not prone to believe him anyway. I looked at it. I'm not saying I
Why?
didn't look at it, but I didn't go over it with a fine tooth comb because I wouldn't expect him to admit it if he did do it. Actually, you know what? We were pressuring Charlie Kirk. We were, threatening to pull our investments if he had another event with Tucker Carlson. Of course, he's not going to come out and say it. So no, I'm not taking his, word as,
Well, I didn't read what Ackman said. I read what other apparently a bunch of other influencers were all.
No, that's against you, Tom. Tally can tell. She just snarkily said that to me.
Okay, but I'm saying that
Well, I
hold on, wait, because I'm saying that outside of what Ackman has said, there were other people who were there. They invited other influencers and journalists and people to all be there, and they've come out and talked about it and said that the way that Candace Owens and Max Blumenthal are both telling the same exact story, and they said that the way that they're talking about this is not accurate at all. That the way that he made it sound was that it was almost more about how anti-Muslims he was than it was about how anti-Israel he was.
Okay, listen. What I'm trying to say is there's not much evidence for the conspiracy theories, but I don't think that pointing these things out, right? Like pointing out that Charlie said this, pointing out that this was reported, pointing out that now there's other big right-wing influencers that actually knew Charlie Kirk, one that spoke at his funeral.
Philly, does something being reported matter, or does the evidence matter? So if I report that Philly likes to have sex with his dog, is that good enough? I mean, it was reported. It's reported, so we have to consider it.
You have to weigh the weight of the evidence as somebody.
But you're not weighing the evidence. You're literally only taking into account.
No, Tali. If somebody says that they have a source that said something, journalists can't always give out their sources. So lots of times, we can take that person's source as credible if that person is credible, but if that is rebutted by numerous other people who are not people who are what do you call it, anonymous sources, but instead are like putting their name and their face behind their claims, we're likely, and there's numerous of those people with one anonymous source, yeah, we're going to weigh some of this a little bit more heavily than the other one.
So, all right. I think for Ana Kasparian to report that it's happening is not a bad thing. For her to insinuate in any way that this could be true is a bad thing. So, and then it gets a little bit like convoluted where
like
she
I'm
feels
reporting that it's happening, of course.
like she's doing that dance, right? And people do this in media all the time. They won't report something until somebody else reports it, so they don't have to take the blame if it's not true. Like they'll know something has happened and they'll wait for somebody else to say it. But that's not what happened here. I'm just saying that those type of things do happen. So you use Max Blumenthal's reporting as a way to say, oh, I think this could happen. It's plausible that this might happen because Max Blumenthal said it. I didn't say it. Max said it. I don't think Max Blumenthal, Tucker Carlson, Candace Owens, or Ana Kasparian are reliable sources, right? But Ana Kasparian can use Tucker Carlson and Candace Owens reporting as what it is: unverified claims made by Candace Owens, Tucker Carlson, and Max Blumenthal. That is what she can say, and I feel like that's kind of what she did say, even though we all know better, right?
Sure.
Or you feel like okay, because I don't feel like we have too much disagreement here.
Well, again, she says that she believes it.
She was explicitly right. Well, yeah, but that's fine. She can.
No. I'm just correcting what you said, where you're saying, I'm just correcting what you're saying, where you're saying like she's just reporting what somebody else said. She's not just reporting what they said, but she's saying this is what she believes.
Yeah, and that will go. Yeah, so yes, I agree with you, and that's why she's reporting it the way she's reporting it, because she does actually believe it. If she didn't believe it, she would be reporting this in a completely different way.
Correct.
However, I think it's less explicit than what you're saying. I think you've caught on to it, but I don't think it's in a way that you can really, like, reporters play this game all the time with the way they report stories, the way they frame things. And so this criticism is a little bit like, it's just like, I don't like this person. So we're like, so my point is she's not really doing anything out of bounds, right? Like,
well, no, she is, because so even in like the Newsweek article that you sent me, where you said that they're just asking questions, in the article they say that there's nothing credible backing this claim up. Like that is not something that she's saying. And when she is, again, this is one part of an entire like segment where they're going over like all the reasons they don't believe any of the evidence from the FBI on who Charlie Kirk's killer was, and how like it's impossible for him to be in two places at once, quoting Candace Owens' reporting on this, that like there were people who knew that he was going to die ahead of time, and so there was a book that was listed on Amazon before he died. There was a song called Charlie Kirk's Death before he was, and so seems like people knew this was going to happen. And like they do all of that and then get into the Jewish conspiracy theories right after. And so it seems like pretty obvious that like anybody who was listening to this, they were going to come to the conclusion that like we can't believe that Tyler Robinson is the killer, and that it seems as though Israel was actually behind this, and that because Anna always says that the United States is owned by Israel, that the United States and the FBI are not going to tell us that Israel actually killed him because they're paid off.
You think that's what she believes?
I'm not saying that that's what she believes. I'm saying that is the irresponsible way that they went over this, regardless of whether or not she believes it. That is the message that they were pushing.
Really?
Yes.
No, I don't know so much about the Israel part, but I think about the FBI lying and the evidence on Tyler Robinson not being as strong as they're claiming it to be. I think there is some merit to that, but once again, that's different than the whole Israel conspiracy theory.
Yes, but I'm saying that this is all one segment. This is all one segment where they start off with why he is not likely the killer, and then get into why all of the conspiracies about Israel being behind this. And it did seem as though they were getting ready to like show Nick Fuentes talking about the fact that he didn't believe that Israel was behind this. And so if Nick Fuentes doesn't believe it, then nobody should believe it. But they still, even after what happened with Jillian, they still didn't get to that. And then Anna at the end said that her only point throughout all of this was just that Netanyahu shouldn't have blamed Muslims. And she never ever made that point until she said that was her whole point. Then she said that was her whole point. But it was never mentioned at all. And so the whole, like her whole point just somehow only gets mentioned once she's telling everybody that it's her whole point, and she doesn't explain it and doesn't give evidence of it, doesn't show the clip, doesn't do it. Like it didn't make sense. Nothing made sense in that entire thing.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I won't push back too much more on that, but like just I feel like this has just been such a shit. Like the whole thing. What do you think about this whole thing? Like from start to finish, from the day Charlie Kirk got killed till today, has been a shit show. Just straight up and down. Do you believe the FBI?
I think that there is definitely some weird stuff about it. I will admit that. I think that there is definitely some weird stuff with the stuff. I don't think like Kash Patel is all that credible, and that I
think he's in on. I think like they whatever conspiracy or whatever they're going to do, they like find a way to pass it around him. That's why he's always looking so and sounding so dumb, because he literally is out of the loop. Like she's the director, so he has to know certain things, but it doesn't seem like he's clued in or on the same page.
Well, I mean, even the part that like Kash Patel is part of this, while talking about the fact that he's saying he's part of the investigation, while also saying he was friends with Charlie Kirk and doing this, like, you know, I'll see you in Valhalla. I just talked to him the other day. Like, there's a lot of like problems with him having anything to do with this investigation, and then being out front as the front man for the investigation at the same time. Like, there's a lot of things that are weird about it, that are odd. Even the stuff with like his messages, the fact that he said that he was hoping to take this to his death, and then literally hours afterwards is giving a full confession, and he wrote a note saying what he did. Like, there's a lot of weird things about it, I will admit, but there's also ways for those things to be explainable, and they don't ever touch on that part, that like he could have left the note just in case he died, and that like if the cops shot him, he was putting it there, but then after he did it, he didn't realize that he was going to feel like some need to like tell somebody, because the whole world is talking about this now, and he's like enemy number one, and that he needs to like feel some connection with somebody and not keep this like massive secret anymore, and that's a really hard thing for most humans to do. Like, there's a lot about this that does make sense and that does add up that they won't even mention. So
yeah, and that adds to the clusterfuck, is all the fucking conspiracy theories and all the videos about this could happen and that could have happened, and this conspiracy theory is debunked, and here's 5 reasons why this conspiracy theory is real, you know, and then the mainstream news has to come out and start debunking conspiracy theories. So now I'm watching, you know, like CBS videos about conspiracy theories, and it's like,
well,
I can't get away
all
from
of left-wing TikTok is convinced that he was a groyper. They are 100% convinced that he is a groyper. The conservative media is convinced that this was all like some transgenderism like cult game to do, that the left is at war with them, and everybody's like using this to push whatever narrative they have as their thing. Whatever their thing is, they're using this to push that narrative. And that's the like clusterfuck about the whole thing, is that there's just a million narratives from anybody trying to use this as a vehicle to push their shit.
Wow, I'm just going to spitball for a second. And it sounds like you've been keeping up with the details a little bit more than me, so you'll just correct me if I'm wrong anywhere here. But here's what I think. I think this kid was from an ultra-conservative family, MAGA family. His neighborhood, township, school, all ultra-conservative. Of course, they would not be accepting of his lifestyle. So I'm sure he's probably felt alienated since however long he's known he's been this way. He felt alienated from his family, his community, and not that this is the only reason you would do this. But in this case, because of that, he sunk into online. He sunk more and more into online. Or at first it was probably just recluse activity, but then COVID happened, and then everything turned online. And I think that's when the radicalization began. And then, like I said, add to the fact of the pressure that he would be feeling from his community, or the anger and hatred he might be feeling at his family for supporting somebody like Trump, who is actively trying to harm people like him. Or maybe he believed that, like, maybe he was one of those, maybe he was a conservative who, you know, this is the way
I haven't even seen a whole lot of evidence that he was radicalized at any point. Like, I don't know if we mean just radicalized in the sense that he was willing to shoot somebody, but as far as his political beliefs, I haven't seen. He seems just like a run of the mill liberal, like one of us. Like he could have been part of my community. He just comes off as just like an average Joe lib, but it seems as though he was still a Christian or Mormon.
Right, and being a Mormon and grappling with sexuality is that's
I
couldn't imagine. That's got to be like life altering in more ways than I could even think about. But and then like I said, the pressure of your like gun nuts, like these are super conservative, super religious people, right? Like, so there was no way they were going to accept his trans boyfriend. Correct? It was trans boyfriend. Female to male.
Yeah, male to female.
It's a male to female. But you say that, but like you're making in a lot of assumptions here. Like
I am.
Super conservative, super
We all
gun.
are,
Like
right?
I don't know. Right. Hold on. So, but we have some evidence. So he did come out to his family. They knew about his relationship with his roommate. They weren't happy about it. They didn't kick him to the curb. They didn't attack him. They didn't do anything like that. They still considered him a part of their family and were maintaining a relationship with him. So no, he wasn't fearing that his family was going to come kill him or disown him because he
no.
came out to them. They were aware.
No, but I think it's just super awkward to have a conservative Mormon family.
Yeah, sure. Gay people deal with this. It's life.
No, I don't think
it's a lot better in 2025.
Yeah. Well, okay, you probably may know better. You may know better than me. I don't know what it's like to be in that situation. So yes, like I said from the beginning, I'm spitballing. I am assuming. I don't know, but what would radicalize somebody to? According to conservatives, it's not Charlie Kirk. Charlie Kirk didn't radicalize him. As a lefty, I know we didn't radicalize him.
I mean, look, my sister's gay, and she's married to a woman, and my parents reacted to this so horribly that her and my parents' relationship has never really recovered. And while they still talk, and they're not like, they didn't disown her or anything, she didn't disown them. She still shows up to like holidays and stuff like that. This has put a huge strain on like her ability to talk to them, and then also her partners, true disdain for my parents has made it to where this is even more of a strain on her and her ability to engage with my parents in a healthy way, because her partner will never show up to family events. They just had a kid, in like the partner is always trying to keep the kid away from my parents so that they can't see their grandkid ever. And it's just like there's even in 2025, this is like a very, very hard
partner. Yeah, well, your sister's partner is culpable in that too.
Yeah, of course. But that's what I'm saying, is that this is part of the strain, and especially when you're talking about somebody who has a partner who's a trans, who is a trans girlfriend who probably doesn't like his parents and probably does have issues with him as well, and probably does cause a lot of strain. And they said that they got in a lot of fights with him over politics and crap like that. Like it seems like there was a lot of strain there, and a lot of heartache, probably, because even me, I know, as somebody who just moved to being a liberal, this is hard for me to like talk with my family and friends, and that this makes everything a lot more difficult all the time. The time.
Exactly. Yeah, you recently exactly the same time. Yeah.
This is life, though, right? And of course, like, your sister's not going to go like shoot up, assassinate a speaker or anything like that, right? So these things do not themselves explain any of the behavior that we saw.
Well, everybody deals with everything differently, so it's never like simple
It's
enough,
not
because
not
even we can say that, like, there's tons of trans people who transition and live their lives normally and never kill themselves. It's like, yeah, but there's also like some that do. So like there is like a give and take there, where like you can somewhat understand, while also knowing that there's a lot of people who don't do that there's some people who just don't handle things as well as others.
Yeah, and Sally, I don't want
Sure.
to sound like I'm taking any culpability away from the shooter. It's not the family's fault. It's not the town's fault. It's not the religion's fault. It's not any of the. It's the shooter's fault, 100%.
Right.
All I was just trying to say was that those frictions could have caused him more mental anguish than he was already having, and then. And then he did what he did, which is just shows how mentally disturbed this dude was. But yeah, like don't get it like I'm trying to blame any of those things.
Yeah.
And plus, like, you knew more about him than I know. So what do I know? Like, I didn't even know what you told him. So like, this is complete speculation, just based off of like my experience with this country and the way that they react to things. But I don't know. And also, here's another thing. Y'all, I'm sure y'all saw the video of the police stop he had a few years ago. Wasn't he like acting and talking just like those text messages would sound? Like, or it would make those text messages sound like less weird now? I don't know. It was something about the way he was acting and talking that was super robotic and super like autistic. I don't know. And I don't mean
Yeah.
that
Well,
insult. Yeah.
yeah. I think the autism and the like living super online is a better explanation for his text messages not sounding like a typical cool 22-year-old than some like FBI conspiracy or something like that, or certainly some Mossad conspiracy.
Okay, I'm glad I talked to y'all, because I actually thought I was going crazy, because literally everybody was saying those, besides the mainstream media, that those text messages sounded weird. I'm like, wait, are we forgetting that this dude like is autistic and he's like got mental health issues, and he's not he's already off. He
Yeah.
just fucking assassinated somebody. So we're not talking about what a normal person would talk like or what a normal person sounds like. We're already off to the wrong start over here. But yeah.
No, you're right that literally everyone's talking about this. A lot of people are really buying into this and taking really flimsy evidence, or lack of evidence, right? Because it's easy when someone frames something. If it sounds convincing enough, it's like, oh yeah, that makes sense, and you don't think about what the alternative explanations might be. And that's the one part where, like, if I'm gonna give Lindy, is that her name? If I'm gonna give Lindy and Anna any credit, where Jillian's like, we talked about this last week, and they're like, well, people are still talking about it, like it's still going on. Like, okay, true. And if you guys wanted to dedicate your segment to it, to talk about all of the flaws in these conspiracies, like Tom was saying, like if you were going to bring it up to say like this, there is no evidence to substantiate these claims, people are basing this off of like what they think the psychology of a 22-year-old might be, and not taking into account X, Y, or Z. But they didn't do any of that. They're just feeding the conspiracy. They're saying, oh yeah, there is all this super weird stuff, guys, huh? Like, look at this weird thing, and this was reported to have happened. And also, like Tom is saying, it's like they say they're not saying Israel did it, but they are just leading you down a road. They're saying, okay, all of these things don't add up about the murder. Someone claimed that, it was also reported that an eyewitness saw a foreign agent looking person wearing a mask on the roof instead of Robinson, right? So they're leading you down this path of all of these weird things that are supposed to convince you that the public story, we're not being told the whole truth. And then they go into, and right before Charlie was murdered, he was being threatened by all of these Israel donors. And right after he was murdered, Bibi Netanyahu announced it at the same moment as Donald Trump. Like, they're just leading you down this road to believe that actually, yes, this is a conspiracy. Robinson is not the killer, and it's something related to Charlie's change of heart on Israel.
Okay. And so everything you just said there was 100% correct. So my question would be, why couldn't Jillian Michaels do what you just did? Like, every
She
question
tried
I
to.
had, every point that Anna would have brought up, every point that Amy Danger Rod girl, everything she would have said, you could have, or Jillian Michaels
Well,
could have refuted
she
it just
kind of
like you did.
She kind of tried to. And listen, she was exasperated, but I really relate to her exasperation. And she's not perfect, right? I think she was reacting to this because she sees this as a threat. She sees this anti-Semitism creeping in as a threat. But it's also, it would be right to hold her to account and say, okay, but you've passed off a million other conspiracy theories. She's a conspiratorial thinker too. That's why she entertains a lot of this stuff. She sees that this one is likely untrue, and she sees it as a threat to Jews. And she's Jewish, and she's concerned, and she's exasperated. But to be fair to her, she did kind of try to do that. She literally, she was saying, where is the evidence? What evidence
Why
do you
wouldn't she
have
be
for
mad
these
at?
claims?
So, all right. So she could have did one of two things. She could have did what you did and combat the claims, or yelled at Netanyahu for feeding into this. Why? Like
But
maybe
it's
that
not,
would have
why is he
fed
feeding
into
into
it
it?
more. That would.
But like, how is that,
Why deny?
even that
I
is
don't know.
framing.
Just
Even that is like a
denying.
framing. It's like he was being accused of doing it, so he said I didn't do it. And yes, when Charlie was assassinated, he came out and put
He
out a
didn't just
thing
say I didn't
because
do
the
it. He
people
said,
of Israel see Charlie Kirk as he was important to them in the same way
I
that
know.
Trump is important to a lot of Israelis. Like it
Yeah,
was a sincere reaction,
he's the
even if he
driver of
has
the
his own
cause.
political goals.
Okay, so let's be clear. I'm not asking why would he do that as if I'm like, I'm sitting here like, why would Benjamin Netanyahu try to further his political goals? No. Like, I know why he did it, but what I'm saying is, like, politically, optically, if you don't, if something is so outlandish and crazy, but you address it, we all know you're feeding into it. You are going to bring more eyes to it. I mean, look at all the reports now that Benjamin Netanyahu denies Israel being involved, and
So
outlets
I
who
I
otherwise
partially
wouldn't have
agree with
reported it.
you. I
Yeah.
really do partially agree with you. And that was the reaction that I saw of, like, again, I follow a lot of Jews and Israelis and pro-Israel people. And that was the overwhelming reaction that I saw from people, was like, don't give this energy. However, not even in his defense, but in defense of that move, I think it's a lose-lose situation, because people like what Candace has been doing every day has been essentially forcing people to come out and respond to her allegations, because she says, these
Like the
people, if they don't stay
Macrones.
silent, if they don't, exactly. If they don't come out and prove it, then that is proof alone that I am correct. And so she has people turning out their pockets and showing their last recorded conversations with Charlie and their text messages and stuff. And so I do get it. It's like, and they are feeding it, I guess, in
That
some
is kind of
way.
sick.
But
Candace
but it
Owens
gets
is sick.
used.
She's so
Lack of
sick.
response gets used as evidence in conspiracy theories as much as a response does. So it's kind of a lose-lose. And you're right, Tom. Exactly like with the Brigitte Macron thing. Exactly. If you don't come out and respond exactly how I want you to, and respond to every claim that I'm making, then obviously I'm correct. That's how she goes with it.
Oof. Yeah, I don't want to get in her crosshairs. Fuck. That's
No.
crazy. That is
Yeah.
crazy. And she's literally off of her rocker. Like she's got a screw loose. She was talking about
She's at
bees.
the peak. She's at the peak of her popularity. I mean, she's really
Talking
popular right
about
now.
bees, talking about the Mormons wanting to take over the schools with some sort of plans with bees. I'm like, wait, this video has like 4 million views. Like this lady is literally like, she's schizophrenic. She's like, I
Yeah.
pulled my kids out of private school because I overheard, I don't even know who they were. It was like a group of secret communists, and they were talking about bees. That's all I heard them talking about was bees. And they made it sound like they were talking about actually beekeeping, but I think they were talking about communizing our kids. They're going to make all of our kids
Oh
communists.
my
So
goodness.
no, Tom,
Oh my
I
goodness.
promise
What
you,
the
this is word for word what she said. I'm like,
But to
"Yo,
your
fuck,
point,
am I?"
Oh,
it's
that's
actually
good.
sad, because if she was standing on the street saying this stuff instead of
Oh yeah.
behind a desk and live screaming to people, we would say that's a schizophrenic person who needs hospitalization and medication.
Yep.
It's crazy.
And you can see it in her eyes too. It's like
Same
she
with
has.
Tucker Carlson, by the way. If he was
Oh
out
my
there
god,
standing
he
on the
was
street
worse.
saying the shit that he says, I woke up and my back was bleeding because demons attacked me in my sleep last night. We would say, "Okay, yes, Grandpa, while we wheeled him off into the hospital. I mean, it's actually I don't even know. Like, I go back and forth. It's like, how much of it is malice and how much of it is like actual brain rot. like
No,
psychosis.
Tucker Carlson. Tucker Carlson, I think, he's laughing at everybody. It's either one or two things.
Yeah.
He actually believes what he's saying, or he can't believe that we believe, or that people believe what he's saying. He's like actually in awe that people are believing the fucking bullshit that's coming out of his mouth. Because think about it. Tucker Carlson is the picture of like elite society in America. You know, his parents, his step parents with the Swanson fortune. He was born into all this money. Passes to Ivy League schools. You know, he did okay at these schools, but you know, yeah, he had like the picturesque American life. And now think about it. Like, what is he spending his 50s doing? Like feeding into these crazy conspiracy theories and rallying up and getting his company sued for how much was it, Tom? Like 600 billion. How much was it? The
It was like 800 million, like a
800
crazy
million.
fucking
Yeah, I'm
amount.
just
Yeah.
adding. Yeah, it's so big. I'm just adding fucking numbers to it. 800. Yeah, getting his company and then just walking off like da 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 da, like nothing fucking happened, and him being more successful now than ever. It's like Tucker Carlson is living in a different world, a different reality, and either he knows it and is conscious of it, or he's just like, you know, yeah, I don't know, but I don't know. It's crazy. But yeah, I'm Ana Kasparian. I'm not trying to defend her, but I'm just saying I don't think. Listen, she joined her take with these other three whack jobs. Her career is where it's at for a reason, and she has to resort to these things. However, she's doing it give her a little bit more credit, Tom. She's not being as explicit. Well, with with this, she isn't. With the dancing or Israel,
That kind of makes it worse because it's like it's like you leave all this like plausible deniability, right? It's like that's what dog whistling is, right? It's like you don't have to like say the most explicit thing, but you can rile up all the right people and you send the signal to the people who are going to hear it. And that's the thing too. It's like the people hearing it, they think that Israel did it. They think that the FBI has the wrong guy. Like, that's who's receiving her message. But I don't know. I hear you too, because I used to like Ana Kasparian, and I thought that, I mean, probably contrary to the people in Tom's chat, I thought her like heterodox turn was a positive development and felt like an authentic thing. But I think she's just been bit with the conspiracy bug.
Well,
like,
I think
really
the
bad.
problem is that when she did this, I said, the problem with everything that she's saying at the time is I was like, I know that like all of you think she sounds super based because she's finally saying things that we say and like starting to sound like a normal person. The problem is that everything she's saying does not have real logic behind it. She's not giving real reasons. She's saying, these people were mean to me, or this one person, assaulted me, and then X, Y, and Z, or like everything is about her feelings, and she has no reasoning, no logic, nothing behind this that actually agrees with what we believe. She just came to the same conclusion. She just happened to come to the same conclusion as us. So I'm very, very skeptical of this change, as if it's like her being enlightened. I think she's just dumb, and she's coming to the right conclusions on accident, just like a clock being right twice a day. Like that's all it is. And I feel like I have been very much vindicated in that. She did not somehow learn how to be smart all of a sudden. She was dumb when she was far left. She's dumb now that she's moving wherever the fuck she's moving. And it's just more of the same.
Damn, this is gonna get kind of boring because just agreeing, because I agree with everything you said too. It's like the same way she was led to those stupid lefty takes is the same reasoning she's being led to these stupid righty takes. It's like you said, all feelings based off how the last person tweeted her, who was mean to her last, who said some crazy. But even with the I think the left wing grift is a little bit more. It was a little bit more calculated. She probably felt in her heart that like she was a progressive, but her reasoning for all of the things she believed in was like, it's just wrong to be racist. It's like almost like she can never describe why it's wrong to be racist, right? Like, it's like she just knows that it's good to say that it's wrong to be racist. Like she didn't arrive at that position logically. And it seems like this the same way she's getting to her answers now. But All right, I didn't plan to spend even this long on here. I just want to come on for 20 minutes, maybe, and talk. Tally, it was nice meeting you. I've seen you around on other shows. We haven't talked
Yes,
before.
sorry for hijacking and coming in hot, Philly, but it was nice chatting.
Oh, good. I've been around Towns community for a while, so I'm used to arguments and you should see some mantis. We scream at each other almost every time we're on here, but then we're back to chatting again next time. So I'm used to it.
Okay, perfect.
All good. All right.
So
Take
yes,
it easy.
the Philly. The thing is that before you got here, okay, at the beginning, I said I was like, I'm sure this is. I said what this is I was like Charlie Kirk before he died. He was all of a sudden doing, because I was like, they're gonna play as though like he was changing his positions on Gaza or something. I was like, I'm more likely to believe that he was pretending to he was using their rhetoric and their dog whistles to make it sound as though he was changing his positions when he never actually stated a position that was changed. And so I was like, I'm more likely to believe that he kept saying things like, we're just not allowed to criticize Israel and crap like that, just to make dumb people think that he was on their side, because that's the dumb rhetoric that they use and the dumb thought process that they use, is that if people criticize their dumb logic, that now they're not allowed to criticize Israel. And literally like 2 minutes later, Anna immediately is saying, yeah, we're just not allowed to criticize Israel. I think we should be allowed to criticize Israel. And yeah, she just literally ended up doing exactly the thing that I had just gone off on a rant saying, like, I'm pretty sure this is what he's going to do, that this is what Anna does all the time. And yeah, she turned around and did exactly that. And so yes, that was like the main thing, is that like that was just a whole like victimization of herself, while obviously leading people down a logic trail that was bullshit.
And she knows it, because you can count on one hand the number of times that he's actually criticized Israel, and like you said, none of them have been substantial criticisms. It's like, oh wait, can't wait, like Epstein's a Mossad agent. Oh wait,
yeah, we played a bunch of clips of these too. Like before we got into it, we played like a bunch of clips of like what people are using to say that he was critical of Israel now, and in none of them does he actually criticize Israel. So
at all, no. And yeah, so add that up to the hundreds of times he's I can't say it. He's bent over, prayed in front of the wall. Where was
don't do that. Don't do that. He's like, that's respectfully, and I know you don't mean it with any malice, but that is like literally an anti-Semitic. Yes. Oh, and he prostrated himself in front of the wall. People don't do that.
The word I was looking for. Yes.
I know it was.
Oh, I thought you were going to say proselytize.
No, I thought it was too, but then he said the wall. But no, people don't do that as a sign of subservience. They do it as a sign of respect, the same way that people go into churches and mosques and observe the things that people are doing there. And for Christians, it's a holy site. Jesus walked by that wall. He was there. It's a completely normal thing for people to want to go have the experience in front of the wall. And anti-Semites again, I don't think you're anti-Semitic. Let me underline that 4 times. But that is like one of the most common. In fact, that's how anti-Semites communicate. They don't even say words anymore. They'll just literally post a picture of whoever they're trying to mock in front of the wall and say, look, like compromised, agent for Israel. So I think you should walk back from that. Just
okay. Well, hold on.
Yeah, that's how it's read.
So first of all, I was conflating 2 different words, so that's why it sounded so retarded coming out of my mouth. Because you're right, I was trying to say proselytize, but prostrate is the right word I was looking for. Okay. So I fucked that all up. Also, back to what you were saying, Tally. Okay. Are you being honest when you're saying that it sounded anti-Semitic, or are you saying that it's an anti-Semitic trope that I should like stay away from? Like, or every time you hear somebody say that, you're like, oh wait, is this person anti-Semitic?
Yeah, she's saying it's a dog whistle, that if people say that, because they're not actually prostrating themselves, they're not actually like giving their soul over to Israel just because they went to the wall, that these are people who actually, it's part of their religion. Charlie was a hardcore Christian, and that the wall is a holy site for Christians. My family's been there, and it is a site that is like a holy site. And so it has nothing to do with the Jews, it has nothing to do with Israel, it has to do with like Christianity, and that people think that just because you go there and like practice your religion there now, in what you consider to be a holy site, that now you are bowing down to Israel as like the, or Netanyahu.
Yeah, it's that. That's the metaphor. But what does touching the wall signify?
So Jews go and pray there because it's the last standing wall of the second temple. So the second temple was destroyed. This is like the outer wall, the only remaining anything from the second temple. So Jews go there to basically send messages to God. They go up to the wall, they pray at the wall, they put little notes in the crevices of the wall. And
Right.
I don't know what the significance to Christians because I'm not a Christian, but Jesus was in that temple, like that's where
Well,
the
that is the
Messiah of the
yes,
Christians lived and spent his days.
that is the
And so,
significance
yeah,
of it.
it's a holy place. I don't know what the ritual would be for a Christian going there, but it's a holy
Well, and
place for
that is the
Christians.
point, is that like Christianity is very ritualistic, right? They drink the wine as like the blood of Jesus. They
Right.
eat the bread as like the body. They do these prayers and these like every like candles sometimes. Like it is
But
all
people
very
say
very
things like,
ritualistic.
oh, they hung me. Like they hung me on a cross. Trying to explain people, like a witch trial or something. Trying to explain people, a public, filleting of somebody. They tried to hang me on a cross. Like, is that offensive to Christian people? Am I not allowed to say that either? Or
But
am I?
that has nothing. But that's not analogous at all to saying anytime an American or someone goes to the Western Wall that they are submitting to the will of the Zionist government. That
but
is
that's
what
not
people
what I
mean
was.
when they say.
But that,
Yeah, but I believe you, which is why I said I don't think you're anti-Semite. But I'm telling you that like the reason that you've seen people talk that way and why that's even a thing in your mind is because that is what the anti-Semites say and do.
but I haven't heard it from. I don't listen to anti-Semites, so I don't think.
All right. So where do
Um,
you see people talking about? Maybe these aren't people who you think of as very overtly anti-Semitic, but that's what that is. They are trying to say
Nothing.
that again, even with the word
I
you
get what.
use.
No. I'm not like confused about what the, you know, what they're trying to say, but I'm confused as to why it's anti-Semitic, because we're talking about Israel taking, like, misusing um the country of Israel, misusing the name of Israel by bringing Jews there and making them like, bringing them on their birthright trips and stuff. And part of that birthright trip is usually to go to the wall. Am I correct or incorrect in that?
This is you're not
No.
this is
Wait. No, I'm just, hold on. I'm not trying to
Well,
argue
no,
with you.
because
I'm just trying to
yeah, no,
straighten
but
this
the
out.
entire premise is wrong. Israel's not using the name of Jews to do this and bring them on birth. Yes, birthright
Wait,
trips
so
exist. Israel, hold on, no, seriously, you need to know this because you clearly don't. Israel doesn't pay for birthright trips. They are independently funded. This is not a state of Israel sponsored thing. They are independently funded. And yes, they bring the young Jewish children who have never been to the wall before to the last remaining artifact of the Second Temple because it's the holiest site in Judaism.
is it usually
Yes, that
Zionists?
has nothing
Is
to
it
do.
usually Zionists that run these NGOs that pay for people to take the birthright trips? Is it usually
Yes,
Zionists that
yes,
fund those
yes,
things?
Billy. Yes, Billy,
Okay, so
because
why? So
95% of Jews are Zionists. So you're trying to make it. This is the thing too. It's like I know people in good faith, they say like we need to separate Israel and Jews because it's not fair to Jews. Jews aren't responsible for what Israel is
that's
doing.
what I'm
And
trying
of
to
course,
do, and you're not
I
letting
know
me.
you are. I know you. No, I know you are. I know that's what you're trying to do. I know that you're doing this in good faith. I get that. But and this is true in that it is completely unjust, of course, to hold a random Jew in America responsible for something that Israel does, the same way that it would be completely unjust to hold a random Muslim in America for what some jihadi does across the world. So these things are obviously true. But the overwhelming majority of Jews are Zionists. So when people are just like talking about Zionists, you're talking about the overwhelming majority of Jews. Jews bringing other Jews to Israel to go pray at the wall is not a
Who
conspiracy
does the
by
most
the
screaming?
Israeli government. It's a
Who
it's a
does?
religious ritual.
I never mentioned it. Not about this, a conspiracy by the Israeli government. I was just pointing out that Zionists will often pay for people to, like, a PR trip, basically.
No, it's
With the
not a
birth,
PR trip. No, it's not.
right?
It's a
Okay,
cultural
a
trip.
lot
It's
of people.
bringing people
Okay,
to their ancestral homeland. No, but you're wrong
I said
about it.
a lot of. Wait, so a lot of times doesn't mean like all the time. Doesn't mean it is. That's what it is. It means a lot of times. So I don't know the percentage. I could be wrong. It could be half the time. It could be
You
40%
don't, but
of
you
the time.
don't know anything about birthright.
What do you mean know anything about it?
You don't know anything about it other than that
I've
Jews
never done it
around the
before. I've
world.
heard about it. Yes, I've never done it. So if that's what you mean, I don't know about it.
You're
You're
characterizing it
right.
as a PR trip for the state of Israel. That's completely
I
inaccurate.
said some Zionists pay. Okay, some Zionists pay for the trip as a PR like stunt. Some Zionists pay for the trip as a
Where are
PR.
you getting that?
Is
Can
that
you
true?
back that up? No, it's not true. Can you back
I,
that up?
I didn't bring sources, but I've heard people explain this. I've heard
Yes,
people taking the
you've
trip.
heard people who believe conspiracy theories about Jews and Israel explain
So
this.
it's
Yes,
not true.
I know
So,
you've heard
so
that before.
Zionists don't have NGOs that pay for
Again, when
birthright.
you say
I'm
Zionists,
asking
Jews
you.
pay. I know, because you're conflating these things. Jews pay for other Jews to go visit Israel, their
No.
ancestral homeland, to
All
get
right.
to see
Will
the
you answer
land
my
and get to.
question? Wait. Without getting
I'm
defensive,
answering your
do you answer me?
question.
All right. Do
You're
Zionists,
doing the
people
tricky
who
thing. No.
identify? No.
Again,
No.
I'm gonna
Right.
drop the Zionists, because it's not Christians who are paying for this.
So
People say,
what should
"Oh,
I
when I
say?
say Zion," because
Israelis?
people say,
Would
"Oh,
that
when
make
I
you feel
say
better?
Zionists." Hold on. People say when I say Zionists, I don't mean Jews necessarily. I'm talking about the Christian Zionists, and they're actually there are more Christian Zionists than Jewish Zionists. Well, you know what? It's not the
Is
Christian
that true?
Zionists paying for this. It's Jews.
That's
It's
true. Is
Jews
that
who are
true?
paying.
Is that
No,
true?
is what true?
That it's not Christian Zionists paying for these trips.
Yes, of course, it's Jews paying for these trips for other Jews. It's not a Zionist propaganda mission. It is Jews who want to send other Jews to Israel. This is a long
To be
history of
clear,
Jews
I
doing
don't know
this.
the percentage of like innocent birthright trips to
You
non-innocent
don't know
birthright.
anything about any of you don't know anything about any of them, respectfully. You just obviously don't.
Looked it up recently, and I do not have these numbers because Israel's not top of my mind. I'm not always thinking about like birthright stats and shit. No, so I did not come prepared to even talk about this. So I mean, if you want me to look up my
Where would you get a stat about which ones are PR trips and which ones are not? This is not even something that you would be able to quantify in any meaningful way. It's going to be completely subjective. Who decides if one trip is a PR trip versus another?
claim of a number, I said I don't know a number.
But you're
So
making a claim that it exists, and you haven't proved that at all, even subjectively.
wait, are you denying that it exists?
Yes, I'm denying that. I'm claiming that you are mischaracterizing what birthright trips are.
Okay,
That is my claim.
I'm going to make my claim. I'm going to state this one more time. A lot of times, Zionists who run these NGOs will pay for birthright trips for
Jews. They're Jews.
teenagers to go over to Israel, and it turns out to be a PR presentation of what Israel is. People a lot of times aren't shown the West Bank. People aren't shown a lot of the nastier parts of Israel. They're kind of taken and to the beach and to Tel Aviv and to where everybody's having a good time, and that's the part that they're shown. And this is a campaign by Israel to get more
It's
people to
not.
move.
Again, I already told you that it's not by Israel. It's completely independently funded. And yes, they take kids to the beach. They do, absolutely. They take kids to the beach, and they take them to the Shuk, and they take them to the
Why
Dead
are you
Sea.
denying?
Yes, they make it a fun trip.
Why are you
This is
denying it?
obviously true.
So
I'm not
why
denying.
did you just
I'm
deny it?
denying your
It makes it seem like it's a
characterization.
crazy conspiracy.
Philly,
Wait, Philly. Hold on, wait. Hold on. Okay, Philly, the part that you're saying is that like this is done for propaganda, that this is the reason and the motive.
Say propaganda. I said PR.
Okay.
PR.
same thing.
Okay, it's the same thing, but
Wait, PR. Wait. So PR and propaganda, right? They have two completely different connotations. People
they're
use them
literally
completely
the same
different ways.
thing. The PR is propaganda. Public relations is propaganda.
Yeah.
Propaganda is the way
You
that you
call
use
a
information
doctor
to.
a PRist.
No. Hold on.
Public relations.
No, not all propaganda is PR. All PR is propaganda. That is like what PR is. Public relations is you using convincing rhetoric and language and optics to convince people of a specific idea. That is what PR is. But
Sure, but propaganda
that's
has a lot different connotation to it. Like it's almost
okay.
like
Either way, you're characterizing it as PR, and that is the disagreement. Is that
As the
for a
intent.
lot of people, this is
Right.
just something that they hold on. This is just something that they value, just as a religious practice. Now you're saying, well, no, it is a PR thing though. And she's saying, but what evidence do you have for that? And you're saying, well, just everybody knows this. But she keeps saying, but
I didn't
how
say
do
just
they?
everybody knows
Well,
this. I
you
said my evidence is I've heard people tell stories about their birthright trip to Israel.
right again.
That's what
To
I
me,
know.
that's the same thing. Is that like you're just saying that like that like you've heard this. This is it seems like it's just a common sentiment to you. And she's saying,
And she's
yeah,
saying,
that's
no, that's not a
correct.
thing. Saying that's not a thing.
Correct.
Yes.
And she's saying that like she doesn't know where you have any evidence for this to believe something like this.
Birthright has just been completely like misunderstood and intentionally maligned. Not maligned by you, but you have absorbed the intentional malignment
Just
of
completely
birthright.
try to jump in front of what I was saying before I even said it.
You said a lot of things, but sure, you can go say more. I'm sure I'm gonna have a similar response.
As soon as I started to talk about the birthright, you were jumping down my throat
No, I
saying,
responded. I actually
I
let you
know you're
speak a
not
lot, and I
anti-Semitic,
responded to
but
your specific claims.
okay, okay. I wasn't going to make any kind of like, nefarious thing out of birthright. I mean, it can turn out to be that way, but what I was like originally going to say was that, I don't even remember. I was going to talk about birthright for a reason, and we got off into this whole tangent. Tom, help me. What was the original point we were talking about?
Well, you were talking about Charlie Kirk prostrating himself at the Western Wall.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I was explaining that. Yes, I was explaining that is what basically his stance on Israel has been, is full on Zionist. Okay, does that offend you? I'm sorry. Does Zionist offend you?
No, you're acting like I'm being like some
He acted
super
like
sensitive baby, but I'm not. I'm just correcting you when you are saying things that are factually incorrect or that you haven't supported with any evidence.
So I can support this with evidence. I will have this debate from you. I just don't have the evidence like on hand with me. I didn't bring it with me. I don't feel like looking it up right now, but we could definitely come back and do this anytime you want. My stance is that Israel, don't know the percentage, but I would say more than. I need to stick something strong here. I don't know the percentage. I don't know. I will look it up actually to come better prepared. But a significant, I would say more than negligible amount of the trips to Israel are the birthright trips, which are hundreds a year. I'd say. I'll look up exactly more information on that. But what I was trying to say was that a lot of these trips I've heard are PR trips to make Israel look good. I don't even know what point I was going to make off of that.
What would even be wrong with that? If a bunch of Jews who love Israel pay for other Jews to come and visit Israel, and while they're there visiting Israel, getting to know the roots of their culture and getting to engage in different religious traditions, what would be wrong with them also saying, and Israel's a really amazing place?
But as we all know, Israel's in the middle of a genocide right now. So like people
Well,
have
I completely
feelings
disagree with
than
that.
they
That's
did
not a fact.
8 years
That's
ago.
simply not a fact. It's up for contention. Just like
Okay.
everything you're saying is up for contention and
Sure. Yes,
essentially
it is.
subjective.
Right. It is up for contention. So like, what are you getting so offended for?
I'm just correcting you. Again, you can interpret this as offense. You're wrong about things, and I'm correcting you.
It is up for contention. Now you're saying I'm wrong.
That's what she's saying. That when
You're
she said
wrong
it's
about
contentious,
Israel's
she's
offer.
saying she contends with this.
Okay, but it's not a settled thing, so it's an opinion. I feel like they're carrying out a genocide.
Well, hold on. The genocide part is she's saying she contends with. She's saying the other parts about it being like them being PR moves is, and it seemed as though the reason that you brought it up was to say that he was willing to be part of their PR statements, and that's why he was going and doing it. Is he's like willing to help Israel by being part of their PR program.
Yeah, not only that, like I said, he was funded by people who had that mission to.
What's your evidence?
A good name. He said he had Zionist
No,
donors
no,
to
no, he
Israel.
didn't. In fact, again, and most recently, his TPUSA colleagues, like the people in the upper echelons of TPUSA, said that they barely have any Jewish donors. It just doesn't make up a lot.
Okay.
They are a evangelical Christian conservative organization. They
Okay.
have
Charlie Kirk,
they have Jewish
yeah,
members and Jewish donors, but it's negligible.
Charlie Kirk had no Zionist donors. There is no genocide going on.
I didn't
Zionist.
say none. Again, you're straw manning, just completely straw manning.
No, I'm not. That's what you said. You said I'm
No,
wrong.
it's not what I said. Yeah,
You know,
I said they had a negligible number of Jewish donors, let alone people
okay.
who are funding him so that he'll push a pro-Israel message. It seems most likely that his pro-Israel stance came from a deeply religious perspective on his part.
Came from. I'm just stating that he had Zionist donors.
Well, hold on, but it could be both of those things. Like it is pretty common that if somebody's hold on, no, hold on, wait, hold on, wait, hold on, wait. Hold on, Tali, hold on. It is pretty common that people who are like willing to push like anti what do you call it, global warming rhetoric and shit like that are going to get funded by like big oil and crap like that. Like that is a common thing, is that if they push a message that they agree with, they are willing to come and help them push that message. And it's not that they're coming in and saying, hey, I'm giving you money to do this. It's more so like, hey, I like your message, and so I'm going to help you push it further. And so he's saying that, yes, people who agree with him and like his message on Zionism are willing to give him money because they appreciate his message, just as it's a lot of Christian organizations that likely like his message and are willing to put a lot of money behind it as well.
Absolutely. Yeah. Like, I'm not saying like this was like some Zionist mission or some, like ultra, pro-Israel mission in TPUSA. TPUSA was America first. It was the reason why there was so much turmoil about the Zionist donors and what was going on behind the scenes. So Tali, you've argued with a lot of things here, and I would love to talk to you more about this. We can talk about birthright.
All
We
right,
can talk
hold on
about
1 second. Hold on.
I'm prepared next time.
Okay, culture creator. What I asked you a question and you didn't answer it. What is it that you wanted to come on to argue? People who agree with him and like his message. Okay, they hung up. Never mind. I've been asking them for like 10 minutes now. They've been begging to come on. And I keep asking them, who is it that you're trying to argue with? Like, what is it that you're trying to argue? What side are you on, so I can decide whether or not I want to pull you on? And they won't answer, but still begging to come on. So never mind. I will literally pay by minute. Culture creator, you just hung up. We just had you in here. You just hung up. You just hung up the fucking call.
Wait, did I just get BTF fooled by Tali on Israel, Palestine?
Yeah.
No, I will come prepared next time. And listen, I have all the respect in the world for people that like that come in good faith. You seem like you're coming in good faith. I'm not gonna, like get mad that you're calling me wrong. I'm not gonna take that personal. It's a difference of opinion. That's fine. But I'm the type of person that would like to just talk things out. So, but if Tom doesn't mind, we could set that up sometime within the next, week would probably be good. Give me a few days, and yeah. And it doesn't have to be nothing crazy or long. It could just be like a 20-minute convo. Like I could come back like, look, you're completely right. Look, I found out that it's like 3 Zionists that actually pay for these birthright trips, and I was completely wrong. And I would definitely concede that. Like I said, I don't know. These are things I heard. I didn't look too much into it, so I could just be repeating anti-Semitic tropes. And
Yeah, it's not even that it's the facts. It's like it's the framing. It's like, yes, Jews pay for other Jews to go on trips to Israel where they're connected with their culture and their religion, and they are told about wonderful things about Israel. And you can frame that as Zionist mega donor. And I don't mean you, but this is how it's framed. Zionist mega donors pay for PR trips to indoctrinate young Jews living in different countries so that they will pressure their governments to be pro-Israel. That's the conspiracy way of viewing it, where I'm telling you it's just much less nefarious.
Okay, but in doing that, let's try to just stick to the truth and not.
I am. That's what I'm doing.
Okay, but you seem like you're a little bit overly defensive of what my intentions are, what the way I'm framing
No,
things.
I feel
trying.
like if anything, I've made it clear so many times. I don't think you have bad intentions. I think you are absorbing things from people who do have bad intentions and are intentionally making these claims and creating narratives that frame things in the most conspiratorial and negative light possible. I don't think you have bad intentions. I think you're the one who sounds a little defensive. Yes, sure, I'm animated. I've been debating this stuff for like 4.5 years. I'm happy to come back and do it with you again, Philly. But
The
I've
UN,
made it clear I don't think you're anti-Semitic. I think you believe narratives that are untrue.
did the UN come out the other day and say they believe it's a genocide?
That means literally less than nothing to me because they're not going on any original data. So if they did, sure. Yeah, I have no idea.
Okay, I believe they did.
Okay.
I believe 3
The
countries.
UN is not one body, so you would have to be a lot more specific. But again, that doesn't mean someone saying something doesn't make it true.
You're right. You're right. You're right. And as we all know, the UN is not the only people who have said that they think it's a genocide. There have been genocide scholars who have come out over the last few months, all in solidarity, saying
The genocide scholars, are you talking about that group that it turned out that you actually didn't have to be a scholar at all and you could join for $30 online and then vote on whether or not it was a genocide? You're talking about that group?
no dog in this race is here to debunk every single thing that I say. Who has no dog in this race? The UN is not. It's not a body that should be trusted. They're not really scholars.
Philly, I'm sorry that you're getting this wrong. This Genocide Scholar Association that everyone was citing like a month ago or 3 weeks ago or whatever it was, time is all messed up since the Kirk shooting. It turned out to be a completely fraudulent organization. You did not have to be a scholar to be a member. You did not have to be an expert to be a member. You didn't even have to have your identity validated to be a member. You needed to pay $30 online and submit a form. People literally joined the Genocide Scholar Association under the name Hitler. People joined as their dogs to the Genocide Scholar Association. It was not a serious association. So yes, it's imperative that everyone look into the sourcing of all of the people who make claims of genocide.
Yeah, you're right. I did not hear. I never heard this. What you said. I heard the original news. We need to look into the sources. This was a thing, right?
You just weren't aware of it, and you're embarrassed now, and I don't know what to tell you.
PBS News says leading genocide scholars.
Yes, and they got duped too. It's embarrassing. They should be more embarrassed than you because they are much more public. They got it wrong. Look into it yourself, Billy. Just Google it right now. They had to turn off their website.
You're insinuating that I'm a conspiracy theorist.
I'm saying you've absorbed these things. I don't think you're a bad person. These things they're again, you can choose to be personally offended by the words that I'm saying. I truly don't believe you're an anti-Semite. You can believe that or not believe that. There are other people framing narratives that you have believed some of them. And lots of good, normal people believe a lot of these narratives. They're very compelling. That makes you normal, but it doesn't make it true.
I'm sorry. You just provided me. Actually, you're doing what I said. You're not providing any evidence. You're just saying, nah, say everything I say. And
wait, I'm sorry, Philly, look up the Genocide Scholar Association right now. Tell me what you find about it.
Okay. International Association of Genocide Scholars is a global, interdisciplinary, nonpartisan organization that seeks to further research and teaching about the nature, causes, and consequences of genocide and advance policy studies on genocide prevention.
Now look at how you can join the association, what the requirements are.
About us. Oh, wait, was I supposed to do this before? I'm sorry. Join IAGS, become a member.
So if you just look this up on Twitter, you'll get like a great sample of all the people.
IAG members are academic scholars, human rights activists, students, museums, and memorial.
They're not, which is the point, right? So this is how they sold themselves. This is why people like you and like the producers at PBS believed this, but they're actually not. So again, just like type this into Twitter and you'll see all the genocide scholars who happen to be random people on Twitter. Avi Bitterman, you know him? He's a Destiny person who comes in and chats with Destiny, he was added to the list of genocide scholars as of September 2nd in a photo of him in a pink, his official
world's
photo.
leading experts say.
His official photo as a genocide scholar is of him in a bright pink string bikini. Philly, just look it up.
In a set of talking points, you are wrong, or you're deep down the rabbit hole, because I've just cited PBS,
Philly.
BBC,
Philly. Oh my God. Go on to, yes, literally, because people were able to join it. You are reading their description of themselves. Their description of themselves was a lie. And that's why people like you and PBS believed it and they ran with it and they published it because it confirmed what they already believed and wanted to believe, which is that Israel's committing a genocide. It's a fraudulent group. Anyone can join. You don't have to be a scholar or an expert. Avi Bitterman joined. It's a photo of him in a pink string bikini.
You have a set of talking points that you've been fed.
No, Philly, it's not talking, dude. It's embarrassing. Just look this up. You're gonna stand behind a group. Did you know that one of their members, Philly, one of the members of the Genocide Scholars, Philly, one of the members of the Genocide Scholars Association, his name is Hitler, no last name. Does that sound like a fucking genocide scholar to you?
Wait, do you think
you're being ridiculous?
Who they cited?
You're being ridiculous. The organization was a sham.
Mm-hmm. It says it's a peer-reviewed academic journal of the association.
It's not.
But why is this? Okay, everything I'm coming across is saying that's what it is, except for you.
Really, you're not looking for anything contradictory. Why don't you look up Genocide Scholar Association scandal? Genocide Scholar Association $30 entry. Why don't you look up anything that actually questions what you're saying?
You told me to look up. You said type in genocide scholars. You told me to go to the
No,
website.
I didn't. I said look up what I'm talking about, which is the scandal that showed that actually they are not an association of scholars. They are a completely voluntary organization where all you have to do is pay $30 online and you are accepted as a genocide scholar. Hitler is a genocide scholar in this association.
This is what you're saying is the Times of Israel.
Philly, fucking look it up. You are refusing to look at evidence that contradicts this.
Show it to me. Where?
I just told you. Why don't you go onto Twitter and literally type in genocide scholars? You're going to see all of the people who are part of the Genocide Scholar Association who are not genocide scholars. Adolf Hitler is on there.
My news from Twitter. Do not.
What'd you say?
I don't get my news from Twitter. Never will.
Philly? Okay. Okay, so you don't get your news from Twitter, but you also, hold on, Philly. So sorry, just to be clear, you don't get your news from Twitter, but you also don't believe mainstream media because you said the mainstream media can't be trusted to give you the honest news. So who exactly do you listen to?
When did I say that? When did I say that?
Earlier in the conversation, when we were talking about the conspiracy theories that Anna was talking about.
News articles to back up what I was just saying. Are you listening?
Yes, because now it's convenient for you.
No,
Philly.
because this is
okay. Fine, you don't get your news from Twitter, so you don't have to weigh it heavily. But why don't you at least look at what I'm saying?
With over 100,000 people that are subscribed, how are you telling me I don't believe the mainstream news media? What the fuck?
Well, Philly, you said it in this conversation, so we can just rewind. I'll clip it for you. I'll clip it for you after we're done here.
Oh my God,
but Philly, even if you don't want to trust Twitter,
about I report on the news from the news.
Okay, well that's embarrassing then. It's embarrassing then.
You don't know what the fuck you just told me to search Twitter. All right, listen, this is fucking retarded. I knew you were this type of person as soon as you came back with.
Oh, that's interesting. I haven't said any of that shit about you. Philly, look it up. Is Adolf Hitler a member of the Genocide Scholars Association? And if you find that he is, is that going to change your opinion at all? If you find out that there's a member of the Genocide Scholar Association named Adolf Hitler.
They're not citing every single person. It is a consensus of.
Sir, no, they did a vote and anyone who signed up could vote and you don't have to be a scholar to sign up. Therein lies the problem, Philly, but you're not interested in the details. You're only interested in confirming the narratives that you already believe. Anyone who was associated with their association, anyone who paid the $30 fee was able to vote. They are not scholars. It is a misrepresentation of the facts.
Could you show this to me, please? Or you just want to keep repeating it?
Well, I told you where you can look, but you refuse to look. So sorry, that's as much as I can help you.
Go to Twitter.
You don't want to know, evidently.
Okay, I'm sure this is going to lead me to a citation. or is it just going
You
to be
can
something?
literally see screenshots from the website. The website had to deactivate because they had so many
So what's
fake
up?
people joining as members
I was just on the website.
once it was outed.
What was the name of
I
the
just
group?
typed in genocide scholars.
The International Association of Genocide Scholars. Avi Bitterman is a genocide scholar. It's a picture of him bodybuilding in a neon pink string bikini. There's also, let's see, we have Adolf Hitler, located in Gaza City. He's an IAGS expert. Here's his bio of Adolf Hitler. I know a thing or two about genocide. My research focus is colonialism, comparative genocides, disability, former Yugoslavia, Bosnia, gender, genocide education, genocide prevention, the Holocaust, human rights, LGBTQIA and queer, peace and peace building.
Okay, so
That's
it's
the bio of
when I
Adolf
looked this
Hitler
up,
on
it
this
says
website.
Adolf Hitler was not a member of the International Association of Genocide Scholars, but in September of 2025, during a controversy regarding a resolution on Gaza, the association reported that its members' registration was spammed with fake applications using offensive names, including that of Nazi leader. The IAGS membership sign-up process was temporarily suspended as a result. Hitler, as the IASG, is an interdisciplinary organization dedicated to the research, teaching, and prevention of genocide. Its work directly counters the actions and ideologies. So it sounds like they were just like hacked, and that this wasn't like they weren't actually a
No,
member.
Tom,
That this was
Tom, you can ask it. No, hold on, Tom. They weren't hacked. When people found out, they were presenting themselves as an organization full of genocide scholars
not
and
hacked.
experts,
It says that they were
right?
spammed with applications. That's what.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. But Tom, that makes the entire point because
I'm
it's
not
not
paying
actual. Hold
conspiracy
on,
theories.
Philly. I'm responding to
Noted
Tom.
Zionist fucking
Hold on, Philly. I'm
Avi
responding to
Bitterman.
Tom.
That they approved an application for an Adolf Hitler, and that
Tom,
they don't actually
hold
have
on.
like a good.
This is the point. They didn't have any. They didn't have any. You didn't have to be approved. All you had to do was pay. So again, suddenly one day, all the news outlets report that the International Association of Genocide Scholars voted, and their members, who are made up of genocide scholars and experts, decided that Israel was committing a genocide in Gaza. So people, especially people who care about Israel and don't believe that there's a genocide happening there, went in to look into this organization. Who are these members? How do you become a genocide scholar to be qualified to be part of this organization? And what did they find out? The only thing you need to be qualified is $30. So yes, to prove what a joke of an association this was, a bunch of people spammed it. Again, Avi Bitterman, he was accepted onto the platform wearing a pink string bikini. People uploaded their dogs to the platform. Someone uploaded an Adolf Hitler profile to make the point that this organization was not an accredited organization of genocide scholars, but rather a completely opt-in advocacy organization where all you have to do is have $30 spare to be able to vote on whether Innocide's conducting a genocide.
Just having a conversation about propaganda. This is so fucking ironic.
I mean, it's
I
just
have you in
correct.
my face
Tom, why don't you look up what I just said? I mean, it's just
correct
true.
everything you're saying. Yes, they might have done this, but that does not delegitimize the authority, the organization, because people.
Of course it does. They claim to be an association of genocide scholars, but they weren't. They were an activist organization where all you had to do was pay $30. You didn't have to be a scholar or an expert.
Okay.
That's the point of spamming them.
Of experts, of teachers, so when they
of anyone with $30 and a mission. That's what the organization is.
I'm sure you can join this organization, but they would not consider you a scholar, a genocide scholar.
Yes, Billy, all you have to do is again, you just keep saying, apparently you cover the news. Guess what? In order to qualify for the vote on whether it was a genocide or not, you didn't have to be a scholar, you had to be a member. And to be a member, all you need is $30. $30,
the mainstream
Billy.
media has caught this. How come this isn't anywhere on it?
Because the mainstream media doesn't like to announce when they get things wrong. They just make stealth edits after the fact. This is
accusation is a confession. You a minute ago just accused me of not believing the mainstream news. You just a minute ago accused me of this and of that and of this and of that. And you're doing everything you previously accused me of doing.
The mainstream
This very
media is
conversation
known for doing
flawed to me.
stealth
This is
edits. This is
gaslighting at its
true. When
fucking
things could be
finest. I
embarrassing that they got
appreciate it.
wrong,
Not
they will
nice.
oftentimes
Don't
stealth
do
edit
that.
it instead of coming out with a mea culpa.
Not cool.
Yeah, it does. Okay, so it does say that it is just their members that are voting on resolutions, and that it was 86% of them voted in favor of it, 28% voted against it. And that, yeah, it is just members who voted on it, not the academics necessarily.
Correct. Making my point entirely.
Wait.
Let's hear Philly explain why I'm just a propagandist instead.
Show me this, and now I'm going to ask Tom the same question. Can you show me what you're talking about? I'm not saying I'm not willing to be educated. I'm saying everything I'm saying is saying the opposite of what you're saying, and I'm asking you to show me what you're saying, and you're telling me I'll be fucking Bitterman. Like,
You're not even looking into, again, you don't even have the process correct. You said only the academics were able to vote. No, the members held the vote. And to be a member, all you need is $30. This is not an accredited organization of experts. It's just not. It's people who think it's a genocide. Yes, a lot of people think it's a genocide. Can't deny that.
So all the human rights organizations are lying. The UN's lying. This organization
No, I wouldn't say they're lying, but they're wrong.
lying.
Yeah, they're wrong.
People are lying. There isn't a starvation campaign going on right now, guys. If people aren't starving.
No, there's not a starvation campaign going on right now in Gaza. Definitely not, and there is no genocide.
Let me guess. This war will not end until the hostages are returned, correct?
Well, no, really, the war could end before the hostages being returned if Hamas would surrender.
Oh, okay.
But yes, I would like the hostages to be returned.
Hostages returned. Okay. What do you think about the GHF? You think they're legit, or
It doesn't really matter. I mean, there is no campaign to starve Gazans. Gazans are starving. That's absolutely true. Not in the numbers that people are reporting, but Gazans are suffering. But this is not because of a campaign on behalf of Israel to starve Gazans. It's because of distribution issues within the Gaza Strip and the terroristic reign of Hamas, who steals most of the aid.
Right. Okay, got you. Hamas steals.
Okay. Yeah, no, you're right. Hamas is just a joke. We shouldn't talk about them.
No. I was just saying, like, it couldn't be Israel that's stopping the aid from getting there.
It couldn't be Hamas. It couldn't be Hamas. You're right.
Well,
Hamas would never do that. Hamas would never do that, obviously.
No, it's hard to tell.
Yeah, no, Hamas would never do that. So you're right.
So I would agree with you, but I don't know. Should Bibi Netanyahu be arrested for war crimes?
We can let the courts decide that, but no, I don't think so.
Well, I told you that the International Court of Justice already decided that he should.
Yes, I'm aware of that. Yeah, no, I don't agree with that.
Well, you just said let the courts decide, and they have decided. What are you talking? What?
They put out an arrest warrant. Okay, that wouldn't be a conviction.
They would still have
like
to
that,
go
so
through the process for the courts. Yeah.
I said, do you think he should be arrested?
Sure. No, I don't. No, I don't. I don't think he should be arrested. I don't think that he's guilty of war crimes.
I change your answer. Got it. Damn, you got all the Hasbro talking points down. That's crazy. Like,
yeah, do I have all the Hasbro talking points, or do I just disagree with you?
No,
it's funny because I know so much more than you about this, but you're extremely confident.
A genocide and a famine, and you're saying that the guy who committed war crimes that everybody knows committed war crimes didn't.
Oh yeah, everybody knows it. Everybody knows it, so that makes it true.
You're right. I most definitely think he's committed war crimes. I think that this. Hold on, wait. I think it's most likely the case at this point. I still would like to see like actual independent investigations once the war is over, because there are possibilities for these things. But the problem is that it's like there's a possible reason that these couldn't be, with a slight chance on like 100 different scenarios now, to where like it is. At first, I was willing to like pretty constantly give the benefit of the doubt. It's just the weight kind of stacks over time to where it's like, okay, there's literally like hundreds of things where the slight probability that they have a good reason for this is starting to get slimmer and slimmer.
Sure. Listen, I think there have undeniably been atrocities and war crimes carried out. I think that's true of every war, as far as I know. But I don't know that means that like Benjamin Netanyahu was specifically and personally responsible for them. That's sort of the point that I'm trying to make. I think that I think Yeah, so there atrocities have been committed. Absolutely, there are probably soldiers who should be held responsible. But I don't know that Bibi Netanyahu has personally committed war crimes. But I guess we'll see.
All right. Yeah. Listen, I still want to duke it out later. Me and you, we're gonna do this. 'Cause I like your energy.
Okay.
We can do
You
it
gotta-
tomorrow if y'all want to do it tomorrow.
Yeah, let's do it tomorrow. Fuck it.
Sure.
I'm gonna come prepared, and come on. Let's do better than fucking Avi Bitterman on Twitter. We need better sources than that, please.
But again, the exact point was that anybody could sign up, and Avi did. That's the point that I was trying to make. You were making the claim that these were academics who were voting on whether it was genocide, and I made the claim that no, it's members who voted, and it turns out that anyone can become a member by paying $30. So it actually was relevant. You just didn't like it.
No, I believe you, but I still think that the place is valid. But I'll look into it more. But
How do you still think it's valid if it turns out that in order to be an international genocide scholar, all you need is $30? You don't need to have ever studied genocide, but it's still valid.
Wasted Design said he posted a source. Okay, I'm gonna go read it now. Because I now have something to read. Thank you. I've been asking only for 20 minutes for somebody to send me something. Holy shit.
Well, yeah, I'm not going to sit here and look up sources. I'm talking on my phone. Like, I'm not going to sit here and look up sources.
No, I'm not holding that against you. They're shut the fuck up. I'm not that type. But yeah, all right. We'll set this up another time. I'm sure we're boring people to death now.
You guys want to do? I think like 10 p.m. tomorrow. I've got a panel until like 8 or 9. So you want to do 10 Eastern time tomorrow?
Let's do it. Let's do it. Or if yeah, it's up to you, Tally.
I think I can do that. I have a call at like 8 p.m. Eastern.
Yeah, I
but
was gonna say we can do
should
it
be
later.
done. I might need a little later. I'll be in touch. We'll do it sometime tomorrow for sure. Either then or a little later into the night.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll be around.
Because yeah, like I don't think we started this till like 1:30. So it's
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll be around either way. Just let me know time.
Okay. Cool. Appreciate it, guys.
All right. Good
All
night.
right, later.
Good night, gentlemen. Bye.